Sarah told me that a user should be able to create backups of a video. I told her that we can use snapshots to implement this requirement. So, what is a snapshot? A snapshot is a read-only copy of a blob taken at a point in time. You can read, copy or delete a snapshot, but as it is read-only, you cannot update it. The snapshot belongs to a base blob. The base blob is the blob from which the snapshot was created. The snapshot cannot exist without its base blob. If you want to delete the blob, you need to delete the snapshots of the blob as well. Also good to know is that a blob can have any number of snapshots. In the meantime, Sarah and her team already extended the UWP application. That means that we can focus in this demonstration on the code to create a snapshot of a blob and to include snapshots when we list the blobs of the coffee videos container. Let's switch to Visual Studio. Here I've opened the coffee video admin application. As you can see, there is a new checkbox, Include Snapshots, that you can use to reload videos. There is also a Snapshot Actions button that you can use to create a snapshot. But the logic to include snapshots and the logic to create a snapshot is not yet implemented in the coffee video storage class. So let's do this and let's stop the application. Here I've opened the coffee video storage class and you can see here the create snapshot async method. There is a to-do command for you, create a snapshot of the blob. So let's do this. On the Cloud Blob, you can call the create snapshot async method. This method will create a snapshot. Now let's scroll up to the list video blobs async method. When I scroll to the right, you can see that this method has a new parameter that is called include snapshots. The value for this parameter is provided by the checkbox include snapshots that you have seen in the application. In this list video blobs async method is a to-do command for you, include the snapshots if the include snapshots parameter is true. As you might remember, we list the blobs by calling this list blob segmented async method on the Cloud Blob container. We include the metadata by specifying these blob listing details. And when you look at that blob listing details enumeration, you can see that it has also a value that is called snapshots. So now let's select metadata again and let's extract that value into a variable. And let's also get rid of the to-do command. Let's create here a variable blob listing details. And let's assign that blob listing details metadata value. Now I just copy that variable and I use it for the list blob segmented async method. Now after we have initialized the blob listing details variable, I check if the include snapshots parameter is true. If that's the case, you can just assign to the blob listing details variable the value metadata, and with a bitwise OR you can include also the snapshots. As the blob listing details variable already contains the metadata, we can shorten this statement here. Instead of writing blob listing details metadata again, you can just use the pipe and an equals sign. Before we run the application, let's go to the coffee video view model. I want to show you some new properties in that view model. Here you can see an isSnapshot property, and you can see the Cloud Blob class has an isSnapshot property. The coffee video view model has also a snapshot time property, and you can see it uses the snapshot time property of the Cloud Blob. You can also see that the blob URI uses the snapshot qualified URI. This will show the normal URI for a normal blob and a snapshot qualified URI if the Cloud Blob is a snapshot. As you know, these properties are used by the coffee video view. So if you download the samples, you can look at the SAML file of the coffee video view. But now, let's just run the application and let's see it in action. Let's select the skateboarder MP4 file, let's click on Snapshot Actions and let's create a snapshot. As you can see, we get a message dialog that the snapshot was created. Now let's override the video. Let's select the skateboarder 180 file and let's change the title here to skateboarder 180 and let's click on update metadata. Now let's click again on create snapshot. Now we have created another snapshot. Now let's override the video again and this time let's select here the skateboarder showvid file. Let's change the title here from skateboarder 180 to nose showvid. And let's click on update metadata. If you wonder what a nose showvid is, let's take a look at it. This is a nose showvid, just in case someone might ask you. Now let's go again on snapshot actions and let's create a third snapshot. Now let's try if we can load those snapshots. Let's check here the Include Snapshots checkbox and let's click on Reload Videos. As you can see, now we have actually the skateboarder MP4 blob and the 3 snapshots that we have created. You can see the titles Coffee on the Board, Skateboarder 180 and Nose Showit. When you select the snapshot, you can see that the title is displayed correctly. The metadata is read-only as the snapshot is read-only. You can also see here the snapshot time that is included in this view for a snapshot. And of course, you might have noticed that the navigation also includes the snapshot time for a snapshot. But now when you look at the displayed video of a snapshot, you can see that for all the snapshots, the video of the blob is displayed. This is because the media element still uses the URL that points to the blob. We need to use the URL that points to the snapshot. Let's do this in the next clip.